Hey guys, it's SuperKamiGuru9000. I'm Christian, and that's Corey, and we are here to review Naruto 591. Let's get started. Okay, so the beginning of the chapter is Sasuke watching Itachi fade away, and they're touching heads, and then the soul leaves, and he's like, oh.
So as all the Edo Tensei are starting to disperse, we go around to each of them to sort of get a look at them. You got Chiyo, you got Kimimaro, you even got the Deidara group in there. And then eventually we make our way to Dan, who's dealing with Choza at this time, and he tells him that, hey dude, you can release this technique, it's all good now, I got complete control. And he uses this just ridiculous technique, which is like a spiritualization technique, or the Casper no Jutsu, where essentially he's able to leave his body in spirit for a very small amount of time, and he's able to go and communicate with Tsunade. And both Dan and Tsunade do have kind of like this Patrick Swayze, Demi Moore ghost moment, which is just kind of cheesy in a sense. It's basically just him going up to her and saying, hey, I'm so glad you became the Hokage, that's what I always wanted to do, and I love you, babe. And then they have like a little moment, you know, put Don't Wanna Hear a Thing, Aerosmith in the background. It's just, it's cheesy and it's goofy and everything, but you know what? This is just what we were expecting. We knew they were going to have a moment together eventually. And, you know, that's nice and everything, and Dan goes away. Unfortunately, Madara is still hanging around. Alright guys, that was the end of the chapter. So what does SuperKamiGuru9000 think about Naruto 591? And you know what? This wasn't the greatest chapter for me. There are a few things I liked. Alright, I want to get that out there. But first let's talk about what I liked and what I didn't like. I liked the moment between Dan and Tsunade, even though it was incredibly cheesy and kind of ridiculous. But you know what? If Itachi's going to have his weird Disney moment, then I guess so should Dan. And it just wouldn't be fair, because we all knew that Dan and Tsunade were probably going to have a moment, and you know, since the Edo Tenseis are going away, it was like, oh, that may not happen. But since he used some sort of ridiculous technique where he could turn into a ghost, I guess that could happen. But now let's talk about that Madara stuff. Holy crap. Now, last week, a lot of people, and even the week before, people were talking, man, Madara's probably going to stay on the battlefield as an Edo Tensei. I'm sure he's going to have some sort of secret technique. And, you know, we were kind of hoping that was not going to happen. And even in last week's review, we even mentioned that, well, the Edo Tensei technique is done. He's starting to disperse, but we never got to see the end of it. This week is ridiculous. It is bullcrap. So, apparently, Edo Tensei technique. If you are summoned from a summoner, and you know that you're an Edo Tensei, and you happen to also know the Edo Tensei technique, I guess that means, fuck it, I'm an immortal zombie now. And, I don't know, I just think it's just a little too unfair, because, you know, we've stressed before in the past, the Uchiha have a ton of techniques and a lot of different abilities. And what's funny is this one isn't even like an Uchiha or, you know, Rinnegan technique. It's just straight up, I just happen to know Edo Tensei. The only thing
forbidden jutsu.
Exactly. And the only thing interesting I find about this is that Madara, apparently the original Madara, knew how to use Edo Tensei. And Toby actually had to be taught that by Kabuto. So this is another great hint to show us that both Toby and Madara are two completely different beings altogether. But, you know, I don't know. But it looks like things are not going to work out well for the Kages, and it looks like someone's going to die. Someone important.
I thought the Tsunade Dan stuff was kind of just shoved in there at the last minute. I felt like Tsunade should have almost faced Dan on the battlefield earlier in this, you know, because we've already seen the Edo Tensei on the battlefield, and Dan's been there for a long time trapped in that barrier, just sort of hanging out, talking to Choji's dad, just hanging out. And then they're like, oh shit, he's going. We got to shove him next to Tsunade and get this going. So they made up that, you know, Casper no Jutsu, got him over there, had a little like 2-page flashback, which looked almost identical to Naruto talking to his parents in the white area, you know. What's Bleach's
what did Kubo draw the backgrounds in this scene?
Yeah, Kubo backgrounds.
Because everything is completely white.
I could just imagine Naruto there with his parents, and he's like, Tsunade, get your own flashback. Get the fuck out of here. The Madara stuff, it doesn't bother me as much as it does with Corey. I like this character. I think he's interesting, and I'm glad he's going to stay on the battlefield. But I just think the way they did it was kind of like, here's a good way to keep him here. You know, just easy, not well thought out writing, in my opinion. But at the same time, it's good to see that he's still going to be there. He's a super awesome, badass character, and I know a lot of you guys like him. And this actually gives us a chance that, you know, Naruto might actually get to fight him, which would be cool.
And I want to stress, too, I don't hate Madara. I actually do think he's a really cool character. And we got to remember, first and foremost, this is a battle manga. This is a battle anime series. So if there's one good thing that's probably going to come from this, it's that we're going to get some really ridiculous over-the-top action. And Madara's already shown us before that he can do just about anything. So there's a lot of really interesting developments that actually can come from the fact that Madara is not leaving the battlefield. There's going to be, of course, an inevitable confrontation between maybe Madara and Toby, which could, shatter everything. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen there. I just think it's kind of a little ridiculous that he can, do everything.
Well, so with that in mind, we're going to drop a 6 out of 10 on this chapter. We have high hopes for the next coming up chapters in the Naruto manga.
Also, guys, we just want to stress again that this is SuperKamiGuru9000's review, so this is just our opinion. This is just what we feel about the chapters. You guys, you might have loved the chapter. We'd honestly like to know what you thought about this week's chapter. You can let us know in your comments below. Did you like the fact that Madara is still on the battlefield? Do you want him to leave? Are you looking forward to some other stuff that's getting ready to happen? Please just let us know.
Also, if you guys like the video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Always helps, spreads our videos all throughout YouTube, gets our channel some more exposures.
And now it is time for the question of the week, where we ask you about this week's chapter. And this time, it's all about Madara himself. And I forgot what the question was.
It is, how do you feel about Madara being still on the battlefield? Are you happy about it? Do you wish he was gone? Or do you just want to see him kill some Kages? Okay, you guys, until next time, SuperKamiGuru9000, out.